Hello, Sagandang and friends. My name is Nathanael Prasetyo from 11J number absent 30. And today I'm going to be talking about Matthew Williams' TED Talk, which I chose the title Feeling Included is a Positive Force. So, first of all, let's start off with who is Matthew Williams? Matthew Williams is a athlete with a intellectual disability, which he regards like he's not really social enough to say it, but in the TED Talk, he is actually very brave, which he gave out all his courage to just talk up front in the TED Talk. So, yes, why I chose this theme, because as a fellow athlete myself, feeling included is actually a very positive force because you feel a sense of relief because you're surrounded by the persons that you actually love, the person that you actually enjoy talking to. So that's why I chose the TED Talk of Matthew Williams to be yourself, to be a champion. It's also talking about athletes, so it's my category. So yes. So in this discussion presentation, I'm gonna be talking about 4 points that are gonna be very important in the presentation right now. So let's get to it. Starting off with inclusion and empowerment. First of all, it has a personal growth and confidence from Matthew's story. In Matthew Williams' story, he talks most likely about his personal life of how he became an athlete when he trained 5 days a week of basketball and skiing, which he regards as a very tiring schedule because he also maintains a therapy session with his therapist so he doesn't get emotionally broken down because very hard for people with intellectual disabilities to stay calm and collected. A sense of belonging and social connection can be seen by the Special Olympic system because it surrounds you with people like yourself, well, talking to people with intellectual disabilities, of course, because people with intellectual disabilities like to be included and it has a sense of belonging and that gives out a social connection. From Asunda et al., 2023, social inclusion through team play is a very good positive force. That's why it includes and empowers the people with intellectual disabilities. Second off is structural limitations and ableism. It may reinforce separation from mainstream sports that are favored, like the favorite sports around the world that are actually very popular, like basketball, because Matthew Williams is most likely playing basketball, of course. So it operates within existing ableist systems, such as like there's still borders that blocking them from being able to be like, oh, we can actually be ourselves. Because from Matthew's TED Talk, it's like he's only talking about himself, about his personal growth, but not a lot about other people that has intellectual disabilities. But still, it operates within existing ableist system because it's not really there's still a downside to it, like risk of maintaining inequality despite good intent. The good intent is gotta be most likely uh giving a sense of belonging. That's what the good intent is, but the risk of maintaining inequality is still like if people don't win with a person with this intellectual disability don't win, they still feel, oh, this is unfair. I still lost, but I don't feel a sense of belonging. Yeah, that's why it's inequality despite good intent. And then there's from Keys et al. Sorry, 2023, the critical ableist structures which needs to be worked on. Yes. And third is realistic inclusion and practical value. Mainstream sports aren't always accessible or inclusive. I'm gonna take one. Example is my friend from Loyola that is actually very good in basketball, but didn't get into the main team. Although there's someone else, I'm not judging, for someone else in the main team that's beneath him actually, but he got accepted than my friend. That's why I'm um, pointing out these two perspectives right now, because mainstream sports like basketball aren't always accessible or inclusive. So that's why its realistic inclusion and practical value is on a downside sometimes. Special Olympics provides tailored support, same thing as before. Genuine benefits for participating are not easily replaceable. So the feeling that you get is actually irreplaceable. The feeling of inclusion, of course. Then there's a stepping stone toward a broader inclusion, which means an inclusion that you get throughout the world, not just from your country alone. Then both sides, the fourth one is, of course, both sides are valid and complementary. First of all, emotional and social value is real and necessary. So that's why the the both sides are actually very good at maintaining emotional and social value. Then there's critical reflection is essential because the critical reflection may be helpful so that you can be more active and more productive, better in your next try. Inclusion should be both empowering in the moment and sustainable in the long term, not just when you meet in the Special Olympics, but it will last a lifetime. The goal is the heartfelt inclusion plus a structural transformation. And that's all from me. Thank you.